In this video, we're going to go over some of our pre-editing tips to make your video editing faster.
So our first tip is planning. What we normally do is when we start one of these videos is we start it in the planning phase, which we set, okay, what do we want our resolutions to be? What do we want to export the video as? Like, is it going to be a 1080p video, 4K video? Is it going to be at 30 frames a second, 24 frames a second? Like we basically start with that. Like, what are we going to be?
What do we want our final export to be?
Exactly, yeah. And from there, we kind of can, depending on like what we choose, can decide like how we actually film, how we start off filming.
Yeah, and just because we're going to export in a certain frame rate or certain resolution doesn't mean that we're going to film it in that frame rate or resolution.
Exactly.
Right? So like say we want to slow down some footage, like for B-roll, for example, we're going to film that in a higher frame rate. Or say we just normal filming, we want to film that in 4K a lot of the times so that we can zoom in, crop down. It gives us more ability, even though we're very often exporting, especially for YouTube, in 1080.
So after we set a resolution and kind of figure out what we're going to film in, the next thing we do is we work on scripting. Our scripting process is us mostly just standing in front of a whiteboard, kind of figuring out what we want the video to be about. What are there any specific shots that we want to be shown in the video, which is super important. And this helps guide our video and especially helps our editing process so that our editors know exactly what's supposed to be where instead of having to just guess from random footage.
Right. Like basically, and it makes our editing faster. It makes our filming faster, really. All of the things. It makes a faster workflow if you spend a little bit of time planning out like what are you going to say, and we're not necessarily talking about like word for word, which you can do and some people do, like read off a teleprompter. For us, that's not really our style. We'd like to put some bullet points, like what are kind of the main points that we want to make, and then go through that. And a lot of times, even now, we're ad-libbing to a degree, but we already kind of discussed what we wanted to go over in the video.
Scripting it out also helps with B-roll. When we are scripting it out beforehand, we can kind of see, okay, we're talking about this specific thing. We need to make sure we have B-roll for that specific topic. And that way, when we're not just on set going, okay, I think I need to get a shot of this. I think I need to get a shot of that. Having that scripted ahead of time really saves on filming time and editing time as well. There are times that you can have a video filmed and you went, oh, I wish I had that shot. And if you took the time to think before you started filming and in total, you could have had that shot set.
And even though we've been doing this for a number of years, we've done that where we didn't plan enough ahead of time. And then we went back and we're like, man, I really wish, and we have to make it work.
Yep.
But if you plan ahead of time, it just makes it that much easier. And, we when talking about scripting, that really doesn't matter because we script our live shows just as much as we script our pre-recorded videos.
Even the vlogs are scripted to a degree just to make sure they flow. And that it actually helps. That's a big part too, is to make sure they flow. You don't want a video to just be complete nonsense and not have any purpose to it. Yeah.
It needs to make sense to the viewer. It needs to be entertaining to watch. And if there's no purpose to it, it kind of detracts a lot from the quality of the video, frankly.
It also helps keep you away from going down rabbit holes, which can happen a lot when you're talking about something and you just continue jumping on every little topic. Or just when you're talking to
me in general.
Yeah, basically. But scripting is super important. It helps you get your shots lined up. It helps you get your B-rolls, mic mindset ready. You're ready. You have all your shots planned out, and then it helps your editor just know exactly what's supposed to be going on in the video and what's supposed to be where as well.
Yep.
And
and one of the other things that we often like to do when we're filming a pre-recorded video like this one is we'll make verbal or visual notes per se to our editors so they know, hey, this is coming up, or do this. We kind of guide our editor when they go back and watch this later.
Because there's a lot of times, and this also comes down to another video we're going to do about crew members.
Yeah.
At the moment, there are only 2 of us on set right now. And now we can't stop every time we make a pause and run back to the board and hit, all right, we need to stop the video here. Sometimes we'll look straight into the camera, and this also helps with sync issues as well. But we look straight into the camera and go, all right, cut this here, start in here. You know what I mean? We make
Right.
cuts like that all the time.
But what's funny is if you actually leave it in, then the viewers get to watch, hey, cut this part out, and then you don't. That makes it more entertaining.
It does. That almost happened in one of my vlogs. The last vlog I did, I was editing on my iPhone, and I realized, I'm like, oh no, I accidentally left a little bit in there here. And you can, so yeah, but that's verbal cuts actually help a lot too. And even, you know, once you have your script out, you write little notes here and there when you're on set. If you're filming it and you have your like bullet point script or an actual script out and you make a change to that, it's always good to write down those notes. It helps your editor. So let's say like you change something completely in the script and you hand your editor the old script. They're not going to know what's going on if you made a change. Like maybe they accidentally cut out a part you really wanted to be in it, but if you didn't make those notes, then you know you might have messed yourself up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, notes are super important. Notes is one of the big things about planning.
So when we're talking about B-roll, first of all, B-roll makes your video way more entertaining and way more interesting to watch than just looking at us all the time in a steady shot, right? But if you don't plan ahead, you're not going to know what shots to grab, what shots to get. You can kind of guess at the end, but then if you're doing that, there's a lot of times, and we've experienced this, you're missing stuff, or there's like, man, I really wish I had that. Well, we work on a set that gets set up and torn down every single week, so sometimes we can't go back and get the shots soon enough to get our video out to meet our production schedule.
So those are some of our tips for pre-editing. Our next video is going to be about cutting those clips up and laying out your timeline in DaVinci Resolve.
And in some of the future videos, we're going to be covering some of the questions that people have been asking us in some of the consulting work we've been doing. So if you have any questions for us, or if there's any way we can help you, anything you'd like to see us go over, leave in the comments, or you can message us directly on Instagram or Facebook or even on YouTube, and let us know, and we'll make sure and cover those in some of the future videos.
So if you want to see those videos and more, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and go ahead and you can go ahead and click on the video from our last video right over Mike's face right here. And don't forget to don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of our videos, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.